See if there's anybody that gets the notification that wants to hop on real quick. Give it maybe a minute and then I'll get into it. Look at the shirt. Holy moly. YouTube at the God Pill. 20 more seconds. What up, brother? Hi, Wallace Ray. Good to see you, man. It's been a hell of a trip. The month of January or July was some shit I was not expecting. But I'm glad it happened. And part of it will be about why I'm doing the video. So, I gotta have some Red Robin. I gotta say hi to my girl. Gotta say hi to my dog. And now my girl got dance class. So, we gonna chill for a minute. So, I want to talk about stocks real quick because here's the thing about stocks. I'm over it. I beat it. I won. If the world would listen to me, we could take over the whole world in one day. We could take $50 million and make, I would estimate, somewhere between $5 and $30 trillion in one day. But we don't have the following. So I'm more interested in getting the following of people. If I had 1 million YouTube subscribers, I'd be all about the stocks right now, and let's just cut to the chase. I'm always about cutting to the chase. I want the fastest possible resolution of the problems in my life at all times. Okay? Some people think it's crazy. But when I win and I actually get some of the resolutions that everyone said was impossible, they still call me crazy instead of what I really am. But that's okay. We'll worry about that later. So, a couple things I want to say about the stock market. If you watch my 4 videos called Sell Stocks, Buy Options, you will understand the basics of how options work. There is more to trading strategies, a whole bunch more that I never went over. And there's some stuff that's lost in the cloud of the God Pill channel. Because here's a little offer to anybody in the world. Actually, to everybody in the world, let's say. Everything on my channel is 100% free and accessible for anyone to use in any way they see fit. Okay, so if you think that the God Pill has laid more truth on than anybody, and like the first to relay options as they really are, and you think that if the God Pill would just make it more professional, then everybody would jump on board and it would be a total hit and it would get all the views it needs, and you'd be able to go do either make enough views to make money or get enough following to go attack the stock market how we trained, then go do it. That's all I gotta say. I don't want, like, I think you should give me 10% if you make money, but at the end of the day, I just gave you total access to go do whatever the F you want, and I don't need any of it. So, it's a challenge, I guess. Go take the opportunity and win from it. It's an easy win. There's more content, better content on this channel than any channel out there. More valuable content, I guess we should say. I agree, my presentation is not always the best, and it's because I really didn't do this for you guys, and I've tried to explain this to people, but they just don't get it. I did this for me, okay, people? Also, one thing to message, any negativity will be immediately blocked from my channel from now on. I am never accepting negativity into my channel ever again. Like, if you want to fight with me, go get my contact info. It's in my YouTube channel. I'm down to have a fight with anyone that thinks they're man enough to pick the fight with the God Pill. But you will not be welcomed on my channel with negativity ever again. And I'm going to bring the level down. I thought I knew the country that I lived in, okay? I thought I knew the rights that I had. And I'm sorry to tell the world, but you do not live in this country that you think you do. You do not have to break the law for them to arrest you. You do not get a fair trial when you go through the mental health process. And forced medication is a guarantee. Okay? And that's going to be talked about later in the channel in more detail. And I'm going to teach you how you can set up damages in the state of Arizona unlike anything imaginable. And you know how for the last 3 years you've been hearing about the Boy Scouts of America having to pay out for all that freaking pedophile stuff? Well, here's the deal. Arizona State is going to pay out so much massive money to mental health people or people that went through the mental health process, okay? And I'm excited to tell you about it. The one thing I'll say to the hater that was in the chat was that I was prescribed triliptol, and it is not an antipsychotic. And I'm the only person that was in my floor of out of the 40 people that cycled through that did not get treated with antipsychotics. They originally tried to treat me with antipsychotics, and I denied medication every day up until my court. And when they finally had the right to give me whatever drug, and if I refused, they shoot it into my arm. When they finally had the right to do that, they didn't prescribe me antipsychotics. And I think they know because the lawsuit was coming, and they knew that I wasn't the bluff like everybody else was. Everybody in that place threatened a lawsuit. They know I'm coming back. So, here's a piece of advice. If you live in the state of Arizona or you want to visit for a short while, come here. You got to have 4 people to do this. Any 3 people that claim to know one other person, it only takes 3 people, can get this person sent to the mental health courts. Does not matter if the petition is a lie. The cops will coach you on how to write the right things if you let them know it is necessary, okay? And if you write the right things and you petition these people, and you petition your one friend, so one friend's got to bite the bullet, the other 3 got to intentionally lie on a notarized document, on a sworn statement. You have to intentionally lie to prove the process is corrupt. But here's the thing. If you do this, the damages you are going to get paid are going to be unlike any. Like, we're talking 7 figures per person. The amount of rights that they violate are unimaginable. And so again, we'll talk about this later, but I got a great opportunity for people that are willing to sacrifice a little bit. But you can't already be crazy because this place makes you go crazy. So if you go crazy inside, I saw people that probably would have been fine had they made it to court, but they weren't able to make it to court without having a crazy reaction. And so if you're trying to fight it the right way, like my way, and not get on the antipsychotics, there's only one way, the God pill way. But I'll teach you guys that later. All right. So let's get back to the stock market. Watch the 4 videos on the playlist, sell stocks, buy options, and then here's one trading advice that I'm going to give you. Find a stock you know will be volatile. Find a stock that's been crazy volatile and should it continue to be crazy volatile. Bet the same amount and it's really going to depend on the size of the stock. It's going to depend on the size of the stock, and it's going to depend on the amount of volume. And so look at the volume and then look at the volatility. But what I would recommend, the best way to trade in the market right now is find the most volatile stocks and separate between 5 to 10 stocks. Buy whatever you think the volatility factor is, right? Do you think it could go up or down 10%? Do you think it could go up or down 5%? It doesn't really matter because all we're looking for is a hit on the profit, and then we're either betting back the other way because we still think it's going to be volatile, but we don't think it's just going to moon or crash, and when we bet back the other way, or you go and you find the next stock that you think is going to be more volatile, and you just keep looking for small wins until you build a fortune and you got enough that you can live the life of your dreams and be a free man. And here's the understanding that you got to have. So let's say we got 5 to 10 stocks. Let's say I think it go up or down 5 to 10%. Let's say 10% for now because you're going to see a better profit. Like if you do 5% and you do, so on this, I would recommend, if you're going to say, it probably depends. If you're doing 5% or less, you could probably do 3 months or less of theta. If you're doing 10% or more, up to maybe 15, 20%, then maybe you want 6 months of theta. If you're doing 30, 40%, you probably want a year of theta. But basically, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to buy up and down. Or if you're confident one direction, go ahead and buy one direction, but you don't put in all your money. So let's say that I do all these things. Let's say the 1 year at the 30 to 40% will likely profit the same amount as the 2 month 5% or the 1 month 5%, which will likely profit about the same amount as the 3 month to 6 month 10%, which will do about the same month as the 7 to 8 month of 20%, right? And just like create your own little scale on there. Like start winning a couple, because you will win. If you spread out in 5 or 10 stocks, you're going to win plenty of times. But basically, if you're betting one direction, or even if you're betting both directions, anytime that it moves against one of your bets, keep buying more. So if we're doing 10 stocks and I'm putting 10% into all 10 stocks, I'm only putting in 1% of my account into this stock up and down. So a 0.5% on one, 0.5% on the other, and then I'm doing that on 10 stocks. Then if it moves down, but it hasn't hit my downward movement to cash out, I'm going to start buying more. I'm going to throw in another full percent, and I'm only throwing money at this time when it's gone down enough that I throw that percent at that it's going to go back up. And every time my one side loses money, I'm buying bigger on that side. Then every time we win, you're going to be looking for just quick wins and easy money. And so you're never, like, basically, if I bet 0.5% of my account that it's going to go up into options, basically on any of these bets, depending on the volatility factor, like if it hasn't had big movements in the last 3 months of like crazy just up or crazy just down, and it's been like up and down or a little bit sideways, then the option shouldn't be too expensive. And basically, what you're looking to do is, like, let's just say you're trying to double your 0.5% every time you cash out. And so if it's going down and I'm buying big and I'm buying big, every time I'm buying big, I'm trying to double the whole every dollar I've spent, that it's going to go back up. And once the whole pie has doubled, then let's cash out. And let's we're going to play the same thing or start betting that it's going to go down again, or vice versa. But basically, if you use this strategy, and like a lot of people use similar strategies of buying the dip on stocks, what I'm trying to convince you is options are safe if you play them the right way. I understand that I lost a lot of money in options, but I told you guys they were dangerous. I wanted to break the market in a fucking day. I wanted to get $50 million all by myself and break the market in a day. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about making $1 million and disappearing to an island for a couple years until I go broke. I had the $1 million. It meant nothing to me. I gave $500,000 to my family, and I kept going. I didn't give a fuck about the money. I didn't buy a single thing for myself. Not one thing. I went on one mini stay-at-home vacation. That's it. Like my people, I don't care about the money. I care about the change. I'm tired of this world, and I want to fix it, and I know how. And so right now, the best chance I have at fixing this world is exposing the legal system that I have been introduced to. Because when I was there, I was studying. I was learning. And now I got answers that make the stock market just irrelevant to me. So again, this is the last time you're going to hear me talk about stocks until I either have 1 million followers or I got $50 million. So we understand if we bought options that it's going to go up and down with a very small percent of our account, and our 0.5% doubles into another 0.5%, and we start buying the dip of the whichever side's starting to lose money, we cash out the winner, and then the other side likely going to win. Maybe we want to, for the 0.5%, the very first bet, maybe you want to let it go up 0.5% and then double one more time. And then that way, you can actually take a profit and a half and leave the other side in case it keeps running the same direction. You'll still make more money than the dips that you're buying on the down. And so that might be something to think about. I can't make it perfect for you all in one thing, but I can give you a really good starting point. If you use this as a starting point, you will make money in the stock market. You would be the richest man in the stock market within 10 years. Because all you do, the key to not letting the market makers know where your bets are, is by, instead, like when you start making money and you have more volume to start making more influence, you don't go to the 10 best stocks, you go to the 20 best stocks, then the 40 best stocks. There are 5,000 stocks with option symbols. You don't need just 10 best stocks. So if you like, I was all in on certain stocks because I saw the diamond-handed movement. I was right about the diamond-handed movement. I was wrong about the timing. I also feel like I got damages for illegal market manipulation because they sold shares they said they would not share in 2 earnings calls in a row when I made my bets, and the next week hit big, and you bet by a week at a time. So it took them selling shares that promised they wouldn't sell in order to beat me. So I'm not really worried about the L. But I'm telling you, if you take this strategy, you will quadruple, 10x your money every single year because these wins will come way more often than you're expecting. But you got to bet a lot of stocks, and you got to exactly how I just explained it, and it makes money. And if you watch the 4 videos, you'll learn more about options, and you just got to click it all together. Keep studying until it starts to make sense. If you already get it and you see the value that I brought, you need to take it to the next level. Like, it's your job to take it to the next level. If you see what I'm doing wrong, then that means it's your job to do it the right way. It's not my job. I think I did it the great way. I think everyone should be all over my nuts right now, and I should have 1 million subscribers. But I don't. And so clearly I'm wrong about something. And I'm prepared to admit that my swearing and my excessive yelling and disappointment in everybody and everything on this planet is not very appealing. And so the biggest change about my videos is, now that I know that America's not what I thought it was, and now that I know I'm not as free of man as I thought I was, as long as I didn't break the law, you are going to see the God pill, Marcus Ray. I am here to make change. I am not here to get arrested. I am not here to get on antipsychotics. And now that I know how easy it is to get somebody forced onto them, and to see what it does to people's eyes and energy and emotions, it just ain't going to happen to me. And so the only way that I'm going down is if one of these spook motherfuckers put a bullet in my head. Like, that's the only way God Pill goes down. Otherwise, God Pill wins. We know this. God Pill never loses a war. He might lose a battle, but he don't lose a war. So, I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure what just happened to me never happens to me again. That includes staying away from a lot of people that I thought I could trust, that I clearly cannot trust. I am going to be filing many lawsuits, but in a structured order amount of time. So during my live streams, there'll probably be a lot about preparing the phone calls that I have, showing you what my case is going to be, and I'll be writing out the questions that I'll be asking at deposition. I'll be writing out the questions that I'll be using to process the jury list and who should be in the jury, who shouldn't. Basically, the way a jury works is you ask questions, and if they feel like they got a bias, they'll tell you they have a bias. A lot of people say they have a bias just because they don't want to be in court, and so the judge will question them and find out if the bias is real. And if they really feel like their upbringing or something in their life has created a bias, they let them go, and they won't let that person try to, like, they don't consider a fair trial if that person was to judge this man, because this man might be Jewish, let's just say. This man might be a group of people that this type of people was raised to hate, and they're not allowed to jury this person. And so some people lie about their biases because they want to be on the jury and they hate that person, and they want that person to lose no matter what. And so juries are, like, you got to be good at the jury selection, and I believe I'm going to, like, you guys will see how I prepare for this. Ultimately, I'm going to be looking for a different base of people rather than the investing people, because I feel like the investing people are too stuck on whatever stock they think is the best. Everyone wants to scream a stock and say, this stock, this stock. For me, I like to focus on the math and whatever makes the most sense. The diamond handing was obviously only mostly happening in GME and AMC. this year. And so it was a no-brainer. Both of them were going to pop at some time, and I tried to spread the word. Unfortunately, I didn't get as far as I thought I would. But so there's a thing called the distraction index. I feel like since I started this video, 20 minutes right now is my distraction index. Look up Einstein's distraction index. It is a literal, like it's a timed thing where if you go and you read a book, and you know how you like read a book and you don't remember the last sentence and you were thinking about something that the book reminded you of? Well, that last sentence, like the time that you read all the way until you got distracted at that sentence, that time frame is considered your distraction index. And basically you just lose train of thought. And I think like the world record, like assumed distraction index is something like 45 minutes. And it's supposedly an astronaut, or maybe many astronauts. Like they say astronauts generally have a very high distraction index. I think they say the average human being is less than 1 minute. And so if I'm at 20 minutes without practicing my distraction index, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I was saying about the stock thing, so I'm just going to forget about it. Yeah, so the channel, I'm going to be calmer. I'm basically going to, I don't know if dumbed down is the right phrase, but when I have conversations with people, I'm going to be real slow, ask lots of questions, act like I'm the idiot that just needs help. And rather than telling them exactly what they should be doing, I'm going to try to play it another way. I can't promise I'll be able to like stick to this 100%. It's probably going to take a lot of practice for me to get that good at that, because that's just not who I am. Like I said, my natural instinct is to cut to the chase. I want the fastest resolution possible so I can think about something worth my time. I don't think about a lot of these things that they make you do that take a lot of time and effort. I think are designed to make it just so you don't want to do it. I don't think it has anything to do with purpose. I don't think there's any resolution that comes from making things so difficult and annoying. And I don't think it's right that our public servants are so resistant and or sometimes uneducated. So let's go ahead and talk about the future of the channel. I was petitioned by my mother and my father, and I believe that there were lies in there. I was feeling like I wanted to attack them and sue them for more than this, because my life of like every time that in a big way I defy what they really want me to do, they have gone to exceeding measures to try to control my life, including one time telling me that I had no life and I was at home prison besides mission prep at the age of 17, and I had to move out of my parents' house the beginning month of my senior year in high school because I couldn't accept those terms. And so they've gone to like exceeding measures in my life to control it. And every time I just walk away and say, I don't need you guys. And this measure was more offensive than any, especially because of the resolution of it. I was certain by the time I got to trial that I was not going to get medicated. I was certain of it. But when I went through the court process, it was very obvious that there was zero chance I was walking out of there unmedicated. They could have literally said Marcus Ray is a purple alien that wants to kill the world, and I was still getting medicated. Like, it didn't matter. It's a disgusting thing. And so I'm going to go through this whole story and tell you what I went through. Before we go in the story, I want to touch on the opportunity one more time. And I'll make a short video about this also. But understand this. Every single day, on every single client basis, they are serving you documents, and at service of those documents, you are getting notified of rights that have already been violated. I'll get into details later. But the point of this is that anyone, if you can prove that they will not, so before I get into that, let's talk about the petition process, because that's the first step. So in order to go through this process, you have to go, in order to get into a mental health clinic, this is what is required, and this is the process. You call the cops and you let them know that your family member, your friend that has no family, and you are basically their family, is on an episode of anger and resentment and threats. Even not, like, you don't gotta say, be so specific at all, just those words. And then they'll ask you, did he commit the crime? Did he attack anyone? Did he break the law, is what they're trying to find out. Can they arrest this individual? If you say no, they will say, do you want to petition him to a mental health clinic? If you say yes, they will send a police officer or multiple to your residence. And they're going to tell you, you need 2 other witnesses to testify to what you are saying. And here's what they're going to do. They're going to say, it doesn't matter what you write, but we have to write at least this much in order for us to be able to get a warrant to arrest and have him treated to find out if he is mentally ill. Okay? And so basically, they got a minimum bar of things they have to say so a judge is willing to sign it. So on my petition, it says the family has stopped him from committing suicide several times. I have never scratched myself. The closest I have ever come before trying to commit myself to CBI July 2nd, just for injunctive relief and to get a free ride there because they wouldn't pick me up unless I said those words. The closest I've ever come to saying is I hate this world. If at the age of 23, I didn't create the life insurance product that is already that outperforms guaranteed the money that has $6 trillion worth of investment, guaranteeing that I have a $1 billion idea in my back pocket and I understand it better than anyone in the world. If I didn't have that in my back pocket, I hate this world so much, I would have killed myself. That's the closest I've ever come to saying I'm going to kill myself. Does that make sense? And so I've never even threatened my own life. I have already been treated for 8 days inside the CBI clinic for saying the first time in my life I was going to kill myself when I self-admitted. And the cops didn't petition me. They just said, go in. I was supposed to get out in 23 hours, but then the first doctor in 1 minute conversation petitioned me. And so that's a whole nother story for another time. But so, again, they wrote that they've stopped me from killing myself several times. They wrote that I've threatened to kill somebody I believe owes me money. I'm not even afraid to say it. My brother, Curtis Ray, Suncor Financial, Mutual of Omaha. I'm coming for him. I guarantee when I file the suit and we get to depositions, the lawyer are going to beg for a small settlement. And I settled small in my roofing company for $735,000. I know I could have gotten more, and I wanted to go to trial, but I couldn't find anyone to financially back us, and we just dropped $300,000 to build the roofs for this commercial complex, and we couldn't afford to float that money. So unfortunately, I had to settle for $735,000. And so ultimately, let's get back to the petition. This is how can you play the system right now to make yourself super fucking rich in the future, and I'm going to do all the work and you're just going to get paid because you went through the process. That's what this is. I'm telling you the process to go through, and I can't say I'm recommending it because you are probably breaking the law in some way, just the way that they're breaking the law. Like, people are breaking the law the same way that my family broke the law to lie about me. You will have to be willing to break the law, which is some type of perjury charge, I would assume. Maybe libel. I don't know. But if everyone else is doing it, why should you be afraid? I don't think you should be. And they won't even know that you were a fake until after the lawsuit's already filed and we're about to get paid. So again, how can you hurt yourself and take a little bit of pain and get a financial reward from it? Here's how you do it, people. You come to the state of Arizona. They told me this is happening in several states. My doctor says it's not a great process and she wishes it was different. She said a couple other states are still behind the times and they aren't validating what gets put on the petition and that they don't have to, and that the whole system's a little bit flawed, and the doctor admitted that to me. But basically, I don't know the other states, so right now I can only tell you Arizona. You get 3 buddies and yourself. You got to be the one willing to take the fall if you're going to go pitch this to 3 people, because that's pretty messed up to say, hey guys, I got a great idea, but one of you guys got to take the bullet. Because what you're about to go to is torture. It's 100% torture. I didn't see daylight I was there for 18 days total, I think, and I didn't see daylight for the first 12 days, I think it was. And then when I did get daylight, it was 10 minutes a day. Like, there's nothing more I love than the outdoors. So to me, it was like, and that's not the only reason it was torture. All right, so you got your 3 people, and you got yourself the man of the hour, willing to take the bullet, willing to face a little torture, a little bit of pain for the gain. And what you're gonna do, you're 3 people, and they gotta be like, you gotta know that they ain't rats, right? Like, they can't crumble halfway through the process. Only one of them gotta be willing to really talk. The other 2 just gotta be willing, saying that he's telling the truth. But one of them gotta be willing to spit some words and defend what they say, right? And here's what you do. So 3 people, they call the cops and they say, he didn't commit a crime, but we think he might hurt himself. He's hurt himself in the past. Like, please do something before something bad happens. That's all you got to say. They're going to send cops over and they're going to say, all right, we got to fill out this petition first. And then they're going to say, did he ever try to kill himself? How often does he try, like, when's the last, like, basically, what I would recommend is saying, don't say that he has hurt himself, but say that you're worried he will, to get the cops there. And then when they say, has he ever tried to hurt himself? What I would do is say no, but he's made vague statements that kind of, like, some people might interpret that way. And then the cops will say, okay, well, in order for the judge to do this, you got to be willing to write the words, we have stopped him from killing himself, or something like that. And they're going to tell you exactly what to write. And then you write those words. And you just write whatever they tell you to write. Then they're going to ask you another question. Has he ever threatened to hurt anybody? And you say, no, like, he's been in a couple fights, but they were consensual. Both people agreed to fight. And you say, well, like, we got to say that he's a danger to other people in some way. So are you willing to say that some of the things that could be interpreted as, like, he might be on a rampage to hurt others? And, like, we don't got to be specific whether it's physical or financial right now. We just got to say that it's a thing. And then you got to say, does he make any claims or statements that sound irrational? And so basically, I was indicted for my mental health, or they tried to at first. They tried to hit me with the antipsychotics and saying that I'm psychotic for the Jesus stuff and the Bible stuff, but then they never put me on the antipsychotics because they know that the only stuff that they had of stuff that you could claim was crazy isn't crazy, because I don't think I got superpowers. I don't remember anything from 2,000 years ago, and I don't think I'm that Jesus. I think Jesus is more of a term of a person that comes and changes the world for the better. And he does it better than anybody because he learned through experience how to approach any situation and come out on top. That's me. And so, whatever you want to call Jesus, I don't really care. I'm Marcus Ray, and I'm here to change the world. You're welcome. And so they didn't put me on the antipsychotics because they know it would be even a greater case. I think that's the only reason, because they were desperate at first. Everyone, including my lawyer, was demanding I take the antipsychotics. All right. So, you filed out the petition. Now what's going to happen is they're going to ask for an address. Where can they find patient number X? Who's the guy that we got to go pick up? And obviously he should not be there while this is happening. That is not going to be a healthy situation. They're got to go to a judge. They got to get a court order to arrest you and evaluate you. And basically they're going to come and pick you up. Okay? They're going to come and pick you up when you're least expecting it. I was naked under a towel, just got out of the shower, was about to go do my homeless venture, and they picked me up 30 minutes before I was about to be a homeless person, and they would have had trouble finding me, at least catching me. But obviously, patient X is going to be ready for it, going to have a nice meal in his stomach, going to be ready to go to either CPI. If you're in Arizona, it'll be CBI, UPC, or RI. Those are like the three main initial clinics where they take you before they take you to the next clinic. And then when you're patient X, now you're in the clinic, right? Now you're here. Here's what you do. While you're here, you be a complainer, but like only the legit stuff. Don't complain about the stuff that the crazy people are complaining about, because everybody's in there threatening lawsuits. Everybody's in there having a bad day. What did I complain about? I complained about simple things that I know the law has already set into place. So for example, while I was at CBI, I complained about the fact that every night the AC unit froze and the temperature rose 10 degrees, and everybody, including the staff, started complaining about how hot it was getting. And that was our sleep time, the only time they turn off the light. And so I'm like, this is illegal. I know by law to hold people in a building, you got to have temperature set at a certain condition. And every morning at 8 a.m., they bring a shot back and they would drain out the AC unit with probably 20 gallons of water, and then the AC unit kicks back on. Nuh-uh. A government-sponsored, government money facility does not have the right to hold 45 people in one room with shitty temperature control day after day after day. It happened probably 5 days in a row when I was there July 2nd to July 9th. And then when I went back there from July 15th to July 19th, it happened 3 days in a row. Motherfuckers, that shit is illegal as all hell. So, that's something I wrote a complaint about. When I was in the next hospital, what did I write complaints about? One place would tell me I got to eat on my bed. I tell them I was raised not to eat where I sleep. My rights say I should have my preferences respected as a right. And then other texts are saying, you don't got to eat in your room. Go ahead and eat out here. I understand what you're saying. The lack of consistency in a mental health institution is illegal. The only thing that should be expected while you're being mentally evaluated is consistency. I don't care if it's even bad. If it's a hard time, as long as it's consistent and they aren't raising your hopes and crashing them on a regular basis, then you wouldn't be breaking the law. But because they don't offer consistency in there, every time there was something where one text says it has to be this way and it's the law, or it has to be this way and it's the law, and they're two total opposite things, I wrote a complaint. Now, I personally believe I witnessed and was physically assaulted inside there. I was not injured. It was not bad. It was not over the top. But a physical assault, when you're being mentally evaluated to try to make you aggressive so they can put you on antipsychotics, that's a big deal. Even if I didn't get hurt from it. And here's my argument that's going to be in court, and the video will prove it happened just how I say it. There's about a 10-foot table, front desk made of marble. We were walking the opposite direction. Both of our hips were connected to the marble, and we both came around a corner. And we're connected to this round corner, and we make eye contact. She takes the clear initiative after our eye contact to step to the side. As we connect, and she's about to walk side by side with me, could not hit me because she's side by side with me, I witness her coming in and throwing her shoulder and coming inwards toward me, squashing me against the marble counter. It didn't hurt me. I'm a big boy. But I pushed through it as hard as I could. I didn't go towards her, but I pushed straight. I was already touching the marble. I could not move to the side, but I was not about to let her push me backwards. And so I pushed straight through it, and I said, "Excuse you." And she said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Thank you." And then I walked the full corner, and I came by and I said, "Does anybody ever tell you that you need to lose a couple pounds?" And she says, "Yeah, sometimes." I say, "I really hope they keep telling you, because it doesn't seem like it's working." And she went fire in the eyes. She started laying out every single thing in my medical petition for the whole floor to hear, saying, "You ain't shit, you ain't Jesus, you ain't ever gonna lead a church." And I said, "Bitch, you ugly." And then she just more fire in her eyes, and she keeps going 5 straight minutes telling me all about my medical petition and everyone else on the floor about how horrible of a person I am. If you don't think she intentionally shoulder checked me, and because I called her ass on it, and because I wrote a complaint about the shoulder check and her fucking harassing me about my medical condition, you better believe she was livid, and she knows she ain't gonna have a job. I'm getting paid so fat for that. I'm getting paid so fat for that. Oh, man. So here's the thing. Again, we're back to patient X, right? You are patient X. Your buddies just petitioned you, and you're in here as more of a game to see if I'm really telling the truth about how bad they're violating everybody's rights, that they want to shut up, that they want to get on medicine that makes them a different person. That's what's happening. And you got to play it cool, and you got to deny the meds all the way to court, and then you got to let them force meds on you. If they give you the antipsychotics and we find out you ain't never done a psychotic thing and you didn't go crazy while you were inside and they're trying to torture you, you will get maybe more money than I will. But as long as they don't give you the antipsychotics, we start building a case of a pattern. Only the people getting antipsychotics are the ones that deny the drugs up until court, and they don't have a reasonable case against them, and they've never actually done anything illegal because of their supposed mental illness. That is what I'm talking about, people. That is the play. And if you do that, I promise you, within the next 3 to 4 years, however long it takes me to go through this legal process, you are going to get paid handsomely. Very, very, very handsomely. And so I'm not telling you to go and minutely break the law. I say it's minute because that's what they're calling it. The cops are literally like persuading them to write things that are not true because it's the only way to get them in the mental institution. Like, this is the biggest scam ever invented, and it's proof that we no longer live in America. We are back to medieval Stone Ages of, she's a witch, burn her. As long as you got 3 people, they'll do it. Oh, shit. This shit's wild, people. So, I'm definitely going to be going after Valleywise Health. I got them dead to rights. But the other thing that blew my mind, I took my public defender, and I wanted to see how good a public defender is. Everyone shits on public defenders, right? But really, I feel like everyone's just not in control of their situation, and they couldn't guide their public defender to winning their case. And so, clearly, no one can defend me better than myself. But I want to use a public defender at my disposal to the maximum ability. And so I took my public defender and I called him every day, multiple times a day, asking questions like, when can we start building my case? Can I have a face-to-face? And like, he says no to that. He literally says, I tell him why my petition's a lie, and I tell him the people he can call to verify, and he calls back. And like, when we keep having conversations and I'm starting to get angry with him, he says, you're being psychotic. You need to just take your meds and get through this the right way. Guess what? He never called my fiance, who I lived with for 4 years. He never called my sister, who would admit that I've never tried to kill myself, who would admit that I've never threatened to kill my brother. He never actually talked to these people to find out if he should be thinking I'm psychotic or not. And he told me that his interest is not my best interest, but his interest is what's best for everybody. And he thought me being on meds was best for everybody, so he thought not giving me a defense was best for everybody. My people, I have repeatedly called him and made him call me back, and I tell him new things every single time. I'd tell him questions I wanted to ask people. I'd tell him that why I'm in here is because my brother's attacking me, and they never done anything like this to me or claimed I've done any of these things until I started attacking my brother's money, who's made $20 million in the last 2 years, who's partnered with a $50 billion company that if you sue Curtis, Mutual of Omaha will defend you. He's got a document in writing. My people, I attacked his money. That is why I got put in that place. Yes, public defenders are paid for the state. They are not paid to represent you. They are paid to do what the state wants them to do and get the result the state wants. They knew if they provided my defense, I would have won it. And they thought because I was so resistant to medication, they thought when it got to the forced medication part, and they didn't give me the antipsychotics, which I probably would have lost my mind about. But they did give me a mood stabilizer, and they thought by forcing the meds, because I was so anti-meds, that I was finally going to snap, and they could force the antipsychotics on me. But guess what? I took those pills like a champ. The big old smile and said, "Thank you, nurse. Thank you, nurse. I never want to break the law." Every night, I'm going to take my meds on camera. 10 seconds. Here's my med. Every night. Every night. So, here's the thing. If you want to make big money, come to Arizona with 4 people. One of them's got to be willing to bite the bullet. You get the petition started. 3 days later, cops will pick up the 4th person. As soon as 4th guy is picked up, 4th guy knows how to play it. 4th guy got to have a good, clean record of his past. Never tried to commit himself. Never done hard drugs. Got no needle marks on his body. Everything that I got going for me, right? Like, I'm the perfect person to start this shit. I'm telling you. I ain't never scratched myself. When everyone's putting ice and salt on their arm to feel the burn just because every life sucks and you don't feel nothing else, I didn't need that shit. I was waiting to graduate high school so I could dominate the world. I knew I wasn't going to college. I got a scholastic diploma, which allows me to go straight to universities. And 3 months before graduation, I said, I don't need to take my SAT or my ACT. I'm not going to college. I'm going to start a business and make a lot of money. I'm going to start door-to-door sales like every other billionaire. And so, have a guy with a clean record. Be the guy that's going to take the bullet. I promise you it ain't going to be easy. They are going to lie to you. They're going to manipulate you. They're going to press every button they can find inside of you. I was strong through it all. I never got coded. I got drugged the first time I went, July 2nd to July 9th, but it's because I was demanding the medics because my vitals went through the roof. I was sitting in a couch for 2 hours. Like, I hadn't even walked around for 2 hours, and my heart rate was at 160 beats per minute. And I thought that I could get I was told that you could only be drugged against your will if you can only be drugged against your will if you get violent. And I didn't get violent, but I got in like a panic mode of like, I need an ambulance. My vitals are through the roof. Like you have to call the ambulance, and I'm freaking out like pretty loud. Well, they fucking drugged me. And so I'm suing CBI for drugging me against my will because I begged them not to. And we'll see. I don't know what the law allows on that. Maybe it's for panics also, and that's not just violence. But the person that worked there was like the person I talked to the next day about getting drugged. She said, I never heard of somebody getting drugged that didn't get violent. Ever. So, we'll see what happens. But I got out of there without even going to ValueWise for an actual evaluation. So, they didn't even want to send me to evaluation because I checked myself in and they didn't see anything credible enough to send me in for a full evaluation. And so, they really just tried to torture me and see if I would snap and give them credible information to send me to ValueWise. But, of course, I didn't get them. Mad Matt says, got meth. He hasn't heard the news that any sign of negativity on my channel will guarantee a lifetime ban, and I'm never cleaning out the ban list again. So, guaranteed lifetime bans for the slightest negativity, people. Like, I'm going to make you build a new YouTube channel or a new YouTube name every time you want to come in and hate on my channel. I'm so done with the hate. and I see my purpose, and I'm going to walk down this line until I get everything I deserve. So, and they do the back of the throat thing. So, supposedly, if you do meth, there's something that happens to the back of your throat. But they, like, again, the physical evaluation, instead of saying, looks like the person's never done drugs in his life, looks like a super healthy, intelligent human being that, like, got a lot going for him, that, like, they say, physical exam unconclusive. Because they don't want to give you the props for being a non-druggie. They don't want to give you the props for being a non, like, self-harm type of person. They don't want to give you the props for being great self-care. Like, instead they want to say inconclusive. Really, when they're telling you got an A+ on the physical exam, but they don't want to give you props for it, because then that's a reason why you shouldn't be getting drugged. Oh, man. What else? What else? Later, Charlie. Appreciate you stopping by. Oh yeah, it's all a money scheme, people, and that's why I'm telling you. The more people that come through, the more witnesses of what's happening in this world, the more you're gonna see. Like, here's the thing: if one group of 4 people go doing exactly what I said what I said could be done in this video, I didn't recommend it. I don't recommend breaking the law. I don't recommend lying under sworn statements, but I'm giving you the information for sure. You can take 4 people, you can go through this process. The one person that goes through the actual, like, pain, what I just went through for 18 days, I just told you how to go through it, and if you follow that line, you're going to get the same result I got, and you're going to be so excited to get out of there and give me a call. Like, just go to one of my old channels. You'll see my Skype number, like old videos. You'll see my Skype number. But you go through this, and you're going to be so excited to talk to me by the time you get out, because you're going to know every word I've said in this video is 100% fact. And I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. I am not exaggerating in the slightest. You can take 4 people, and you guys can play the state's game and prove how corrupt it is. Probably even try to record a lot of it. Like, if you can afford, like, the little secret agent man glasses and all this other stuff that they truly, like, they look at it and they can't tell it's like recording, and it can record for 18 days straight somehow. I don't know if that kind of technology exists, but, like, if you can fucking work the magic, I am telling you right now, there is no greater crime being committed in this country by the government. This is the only crime where you don't actually get a fair trial. Everyone else is complaining about not having a good lawyer, not having a good public defender, but if they were good enough themselves, they would have pled not guilty. They all tell me why they're not guilty while we're talking in the cages, but then as soon as we get in front of the judge, they all take the plea bargain. My people, I didn't take the plea bargain. I said not guilty. Give me my court day. Every time I've been to court, I've gotten a fair trial and I've won. I do not mind the court system. I like the court system. I love being tried by a jury of peers. There is no greater resolution or capable possibility of resolution. That is what separates us from the medieval times of claiming someone's mentally ill or a witch or a demon, whatever it is they're killing people for. That is what separates us, is a trial by peers. And I love a trial by peers because I don't pick a fight that I'm not right about. It's a fact. And so here's the thing. Take your 4 people. 3 of them got a petition to the cops that the one is unstable and might hurt himself and other people. The cops will coach you on what to write in this petition. You go ahead and write whatever the cops tell you, truth or not. And then you got to be prepared to basically just say yes or no to a couple questions from like in a small court date where the guy, like when I had my court date, I got to talk for 20 seconds when they took my right to represent. Like I didn't get to ask my witness or the people they brought as witnesses any questions because the judge took my right away to represent myself before we got there, and it was some bullshit of why he took my rights away. So aside from the mental health hospital, I got nailed to the wall. I got the judge and my public defender nailed to the wall also, and I will be filing bar complaints very soon. My public defender said that he will be sending me a copy of my recording of that court date, and I can post it on my YouTube, so I will be showing you guys exactly what my court date was, and none of you will, if you claim that it was a fair trial, you're not a real human. You're a hater. That's it. Because no rational human being can say I got a fair trial. I'm sure when I file my appeal and I get it in 3 months, and I'm sure I'm gonna win that, and I'll be able to stop taking my meds in 3 months if I so choose. If my girl likes me more, like here's the thing. What I'll probably do is I'll probably stop taking them after I win my appeal. If we can actually show that on my YouTube I was able to calm down while I'm on the meds, but like when I stop taking them, I can't keep my cool, and I start to accelerate again and start yelling and swearing all the time. If I can't control that when I get off the meds, then I can hear a rational conversation of if my life's still going good and I still feel great and I still feel like I'm dominating everybody, why not? Like, I don't care, but I don't think this mood that you're seeing in me has anything to do with medication. They told me I'm not going to notice the medication. They said this isn't about controlling you, or like you're not going to notice because you're still going to get angry. But what's going to happen is when you get angry, your brain isn't going to have the chemicals to hit a level 10 anymore, and that you're only going to be able to reach a level 8 of anger. And so it's like, okay, so next time I get really angry, maybe I'll notice that I'm not as angry. But maybe I won't notice, and maybe it'll be a good thing, maybe it won't be nothing. I mean, I've never got angry enough to break the law, so how angry am I really getting? I mean, I'm just really trying to get through to you guys. Like, you just won't open your ears. Alright, so here's the thing. You get to the court, you say the things, and then the guy who's defending himself need to be calling his lawyer every day saying they're lying. Like, my rights are being violated. Please defend me. Please build me a defense. And call the supervisor. I called the supervisor, talked to him for 45 minutes. He said I brought up everything I said was rational and very good arguments. He liked what he was hearing. He hadn't heard about the rights being violated when you serve your petition and your notice of rights and the affidavits from the doctors at the same time. When they give you a notice of rights, you're supposed to pick your doctors. You've already had your doctors, so you never got to pick your doctors. So I motioned to suppress the doctors' affidavits because I was not notified that I get to choose my doctors. And so if I could have chose doctors, the affidavits could have been different. And they could have, but even the affidavits, all they did was reference the petition. And they said, because of the petition, we think he has bipolar. Well, if you're going off the petition and I can prove that the petition's lies, but they didn't let me prove that they were lies, sounds like I got damages. All over the place, across the board. And so I'm telling you, if you got the balls to go through the system like I just did, you will have damages that you cannot imagine. And when you get these damages, like, you're going to be excited when you get out because you're going to know that the money's coming. One day. I don't know how long it's going to take us, but the money is coming. And when the money comes, like before the money comes, when we're in court, like, you're going to want to call me the second you get out, and you're going to want to talk to me about all the bullshit you just dealt with. Because I dealt with my own bullshit, but you're going to deal with your own. Like, we go through, we have the same attitude, get through it. Don't break any of the rules. Don't let them get us with the psychotics. Don't let them call like an angry code on us, say that we got aggressive and that we can't control our anger. Don't do any of that. But be annoying, be relentless, push their buttons as well. And make them want to hate you, make them want to attack you, but do it right so they can't drug you for it. And then when you get out, you're going to be like, bro, I nailed them better than you. And you're going to not be able to wait to give me a call. Oh, I nailed them so good, though. Like, they fucking know I got them. Oh, man. I got the judges. I got the lawyers. I got the hospital. I got the temporary mental place before the hospital. They're all my bitches. I'll get, man, I feel like I'm going to get the world from it. Like, $50 million, dollars, a jury's going to want to give me more. Like, why would they only, like, if you're giving me $50 million, dollars, it's because you know that, like, I'm the most legit, and you know that, like in the trial, I'm gonna be proving that, like, I'm gonna do more good with this money than anybody. Like, they're gonna give me $1 billion from the state of Arizona for endorsing and giving all the money to all these people. I'm telling you, whatever money they've been paid in total in the last decade, they're gonna say, write this guy a single fucking check. And then everybody else that's in the damage list that can claim these same damages, X, Y, and Z, that we're going to pay him for, each get $1 million. That's what's going to get, that's what's happening. That's what's coming. It's coming, people. Again, I feel like it could take 4 years. The Bible says something in the book of Revelations about 42 months. And I don't know when that clock starts. I feel like it started when, like, the beginning of this year when I got, like, started live streaming. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know, people. I'm just going to keep walking my path. So, I'm trying to think of what got me in the mood. Because there's a lot of grievances I wrote while I was in there. I think it was my court date. And so I got out of court. And I was very angry because they didn't give me a fair trial. But, like, that's when they thought they were going to get me. When they come and hand me that medication right after I get out of court, they're like, this is it. Everyone prepare in the corners, get ready to tackle him when he gets crazy and resistant. They give me the pill, I swallow it, and I let them know I'm taking it under duress because the day before, the nurse told me they were going to give me, like, a list of symptoms and descriptions on, like, 5 different medications, and they were going to let me pick one. And they forgot to do it, I bet. Because they definitely should have done that before they forced me to, like, she said, you got to take this. I said, even though they said they were going to let me choose, she said, if you don't take this, they're going to come shoot you in the arm. I take the medication. I drink the water. I let her know it's under duress. And for 3 hours, I sang the first verse of the national anthem on repeat, walking around the single hallway that we lived in. The patients were wanting to fight me, telling me to shut the fuck up, starting to, like, almost get codes on themselves, almost get locked in the quiet room on themselves because I was being so annoying. And I was singing at the same pitch that I heard other people singing all week long. Like, the crazy people just put on the headphones and sing all week long. And they sing loud. And so I know if they got the right to do it, I got the motherfucking right to do it. And they can't do it. Like, I've seen them try to quiet them. And they say, fuck you, I'm allowed to do this. And ain't nobody tell them otherwise when they say shit like that. So I know I got the right to do it. And for 3 hours, I just walked in a circle singing the same song at that perfect tone where everybody could hear it the whole time. Total repeat. Oh, man. That's when the Keisha lady that gave me the shoulder check, the next day is when she, like, since then, her eyes were demon eyes. And the next day is when she started picking a fight. But I didn't let her win. And my win's gonna come. Oh, my people, it's a beautiful day. I'm glad to be free. I told you how you can take 4 people and help me change the world. Help yourself eventually get paid a fat fucking check. It's real. It ain't no joke. And when you go through it, you'll know I'm telling the truth. You'll know I'm telling the truth. Like, the second you go through it and you see everything exactly how I just said it, your certainty that you are going to be a millionaire when this thing pays out, when Marcus finishes the lawsuit and lets everyone jump on board at the very end. You're like, the second you get out of the hospital, you already know you won. You already know you won. So, who's got the balls? Who's got the balls to go to jail for 18 days that got a spotless record? They got a body that's spotless, no hard drugs, no crazy episodes in your life that they can't use against you. I had nothing, people. They can try to articulate how they can interpret some of my symptoms as a sign of a mental disorder. But when I can go back and say that's always been me and bring 1,000 people to testify that that's always been me, so you can't use it to testify because they clearly state in the mental health book that manic episodes are separate from their normal everyday activity. If I'm just manic my whole life, you can't diagnose it. The best you can shoot for is a personality disorder. But a personality disorder is not illegal. And so you can't medicate a personality disorder unless they're breaking the law, people. Oh, my people. I got them in check. Or I'm crazy. We're about to find out. Oh, we about to find out, people. We about to find out. Ass Eaters Anonymous says I might be a little bit of a genius and crazy. Right about everything, but still crazy. I mean, I guess it's like, again, like when they said, like, why would you call yourself Jesus? That's crazy. I say everyone's got a different definition of Jesus. To me, Jesus is just a man that comes and beats the system. One man, the Bible says one man defeats the system, and I feel like I got the power to do it, and I feel like I've been chasing this my whole life, and every time I get bigger and better and bigger wins and more proof that I got what it takes, and like I'm gonna keep pushing. If I don't ever get there, hopefully somebody learns from my mistakes, right? But like, why can't I try to make this a better place? Why does it make me a bad person to try to make this world a better place? The whole world, everybody that knows me, everybody's talking gossip right now about Marcus off his rocker and being a bad person. And so here's one thing that I will submit to. I apologize to all groups of people I may have offended because I don't hate any group of people. When I say a group of name, I don't mean that entire group. I mean the people that relate to that group in a specific way. So like the J word, I was talking about a money thing, and my brother Curtis Ray, Suncor Financial Mutual of Omaha, is the most horrible morality of money you will ever witness on this earth. When he got home from his mission at 21 and didn't deserve a goddamn thing from my parents took a $40,000 second mortgage and just gave it to him. He said he was giving 25% to my dad, 25% to my brother who owned the company my dad used to own but now works for, and then 50% for him. And in the first 3 months, he made decent amount of money, and probably 6 months, he never paid them out $1. He let them work off the debt he owed them. Does that make sense? 40% plus, 40,000 plus some interest. He gave them work to install his granite jobs until he felt like he paid them back more than they deserved. And I guarantee you he wasn't paying more than any other granite installer. Like, they were not getting top dollar. That man has no comprehension of morality when it comes to fair and money and who put in what efforts. He built his company off my dad's license. Oh, man. I appreciate that, Wallace Frey. I try to be as honest as I can, and I have made mistakes on this channel, and when I make mistakes, I come back and I apologize as soon as I find out I made the mistake. I agree, Anonymous. I agree. The separation between medieval times, basically cavemen and animals, and like us, like the modern, the new age, is morals. How do we treat other people around us? Treat people like you want to be treated. Treat them fairly, not what you can win legally in. But even my brother would have lost all of those in lawsuits. He would have owed my family so much money had anyone had the balls to step up to him. But everyone in my family thinks it's immoral to sue somebody. And so they let him get away with it. And I've been turning the other cheek for 7 years, but no more. Curtis will write me a check for $5 million. I promise. I will not take a penny less. Otherwise, I will beg a jury to give it to me. Not a penny less than $5 million. That is Curtis's number to get me to stop exposing his lies and showing how you could do it better tomorrow. Because you can do it better tomorrow, people. There is no reason to buy his product. I can show you the way. I can show you the way. Money better than Warren Buffett. They don't know how to invest in the S&P 500. Oh, yeah. A whole new money. Oh, my people. Oh, my people. I think that's about it. Like, I feel like I went over the hospital stuff pretty good. Like I showed you, like I'll probably do a very short video of, hey guys, not legal advice. Don't take it as advice. It's just the truth. If you get 4 people, this is how you can guarantee to get paid $1 million in the next 4 years. And I'll do like a 5-minute video on just that. And I think it'll be fun. And I think it'll get views. I think people will share that shit. Because that's like, man, that's real shit, man. I don't know how else to say it. I'm glad to be back, people. I am glad to be back. Well, I think I'm going to go enjoy my night. Take my dog on a walk. Wait for my girl to get back from dance. And start enjoying life again. I think I got enough damages for a minute. It's time to have some good times. The good times are about to roll.